Funding for the Our Town podcast is provided in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota, and the members of KSMQ Public Television. Thank you.
This is Danielle Teal with Our Town Podcast, a KSMQ Public Television show. I'm delighted to have you here listening right now. We have a great guest that I think you will find very interesting and helpful. Her name is Karlin Ziegler from the Olmsted County Public Works, Parks and Recreation. Thank you so much for joining us, Karlin.
Thank you for having me.
I apologize. My cat is hitting my webcam right now. And you're outdoors, so how's that working for you?
It's working great. I'm loving it, and hopefully the wind doesn't mess too much with our audio.
Yeah, I totally agree. Here he is right here. I'm gonna have to put him down on the ground. Okay, we're good. Okay, so that's the one thing we wanted to specifically have on the show is a subject matter expert that can share more details about the outdoors, because one thing that has come to fruition with the pandemic is that people are very interested in getting outdoors. We're pent up in the inside of the houses, and we really need to get out and be one with nature, if you want to call it that. So what is your role with the Olmsted Public Works, and what do you do currently?
So I'm the Olmsted County Park Superintendent, so I oversee all of the parks that we have in Olmsted County. We are a separate agency from the city parks of Rochester. The parks that we have in our department is Oxbow Park, Chester Woods Park, Root River Park, which is one of our newer parks south of Rochester, and also the White Bridge Pier up in Orinoco, right next to what was formerly the Fisherman's Inn. So those are the 4 parks that I oversee.
Okay, and we'll talk about the Fisherman Inn and that park as well, because I'm very interested to hear what the update of that is. But with the COVID-19 pandemic, it's been very limiting as far as the places that people can go. However, people are very interested in outdoor activities. It's become quite popular. People want to go to the parks. Have you seen an increase in those activities at the parks?
We have seen a vast increase in the park usage right now, far more than we normally would this time of year. It's still a little bit chilly out, still a little muddy, and spring is definitely here, but we are being heavily used. People are using the trails a lot in whatever areas of the parks they can get out to right now, because it's a big thing. It's stay at home, but that doesn't mean be stuck inside. It's better for our mental health to get out and get out in those natural places where you can be apart from everybody else, without having to worry about coming into contact with people. When we have hundreds of acres of parkland available, it's a great way to use our parks and to get away from people. And it's fun and interesting because you talk to a lot of people now and who may be used to using the beach at Chester Woods or going to the zoo at Oxbow Park. And those things that are closed right now, they can't use. So they're discovering other areas of their park that we haven't necessarily always had people going to on such a heavy basis. So yeah, our trail systems are getting heavily used. We're seeing a lot of picnics, families having their picnics and just using the outdoor space in general. But we are also seeing people doing a really good job at social distancing while they're out in the parks too. They don't spend a lot of time in the parking lots. They get there, they get out to their destination, and they immerse themselves into the woods, which is what we really are hoping for. So it's been really fun to see a lot of new people and returning people really using the parks and the trail systems and getting out into the really natural areas of the parks.
That's really great news that people are still abiding by social distancing and utilizing, the parks in such a great way. What are the regulations right now with the parks?
So all of the buildings are closed. Any public-facing buildings are closed right now. The zoo is considered a public amusement type of place, as well as the Chester Woods Beach. So those types of places are closed due to the governor's executive orders. And so it's really any of our natural areas that are open right now to the public. We do have vault toilets in all of the parks available, so you can still go to the restroom if you need to. We have hand sanitizers out in those areas to really help promote being able to be sanitary while you're out in nature. So it's really just trails. The lake, you can get onto the lake at Lake Zembro now and Chester Woods Park. The launches are open. The boat launches are available so that you can get out onto the lake with your personal watercraft and enjoy fishing. The piers are open for fishing. So it's just a matter of using some of those spaces without necessarily having our park offices open and available to you. There's other amenities that we aren't able to offer right now, such as our watercraft rentals at Chester Woods Park. And again, like I said, the zoo is closed at Oxbow Park, which tends to be our gem at Oxbow. But it is also nice for people to get out and see the rest of the park there. And there are a few animals that are still outside of the zoo perimeter fence that you can visit, and that would be our bison and the elk and deer. So a lot of people kind of walking around the outer perimeter of the zoo as well to just kind of get a little peek at some of the animals. So,
is the take your own trash still part of that regulation?
We are a little bit different than what you're seeing at Rochester City Parks.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a lot of trash cans and trash dumpsters set out. We may not have them at every single picnic shelter or every single area, but we do have trash cans available. But of course, if you're going into a little bit more remote areas, we're probably not going to have trash cans in those areas. So we do ask you to just please, anything you take in for trash, that you take back out with you and find the nearest receptacle to put that in.
You had mentioned some activities. One of those was picnics. What are other activities that people could be doing, like fishing, those sorts of things?
Yeah, so we're actually spreading out the picnic tables. Normally we have them all congregated underneath a picnic shelter, but we're just leaving 1 or 2 picnic tables under the shelters and then spreading the rest of them out in hopes that we're not promoting some of the big graduation parties and things like that people would like to use them for, but rather make families feel safe that they can have a picnic table kind of away from everybody else and still continue to do your small family picnics in those areas. Again, yeah, we have fishing that you can do. If you have your own personal watercraft, you can certainly use Chester Woods Lake for kayaking, canoeing, paddleboarding, and whatever else you might have for your own personal watercraft. But fishing is a really big one right now that we've seen an increase in because those are really easy areas to access in the parks and to get away from other people. You don't necessarily have to be on a pier. The lake is big and there's a lot of water at edge, so you can kind of make your way to different areas for that. Beyond that, it's a little bit tougher to find some of the actual amenities and activities to do other than your real natural things like bird watching, bug catching. Get out there and look at your spring wildflowers. That's something that people really don't necessarily know a whole lot about, is what we call spring ephemerals or spring wildflowers. When you're hiking in the woods, pay close attention to the ground, and you may find some really fantastic flowers in the woods that you may have never seen before. There's some really cool flowers that come up in the spring before the leaves really start popping on the trees, and some of those flowers are pretty cool. So get to know some different things in the parks that you maybe would have never stopped to notice before, and those spring wildflowers are one of them. And as we get a little bit further into summer, you'll be able to start seeing more of our prairies up and getting healthy and showing a lot more flowers. So it's just a really fun time to do bird watching and other just natural things. Get your binoculars out, get your bug nets out, and just really head out to the deeper natural areas of the park and see what you can find.
Are you guys offering any type of virtual tours or virtual sessions so that people can learn more about bird watching and perhaps these spring wildflowers?
Yeah, so we haven't done a lot of the virtual tours yet, but we are trying to do as many virtual naturalist programming as we can. I know at Oxbow Park, they're doing videos at least twice a week, or once a week, excuse me, that is Wildlife Wednesdays, where they are showing off an animal of the week in the zoo on Wednesdays and broadcasting that live. We've had our naturalists do several naturalist education programs, especially related to things that you might be able to do at home, such as, potting your own garden, some nature related crafts that you can do with the kids while you're at home. But we really hope to start ramping up even more what we're offering for some of that online programming, because people seem to really appreciate it. And if we're not going to be able to do the public programming like we normally are, if we can at least do those public programs via some of those online channels, it would be really, really nice. And we do have a Facebook page for a lot of our parks, as well as you can visit our online webpage, and that will direct you to some of the parks pages as well. So,
which park is the most popular that people are utilizing right now?
What's that?
Which park is the most popular that people are utilizing right now?
It's really hard. It's really hard to say.
Are they all over?
They are all over. I can't even say, normally I would have said, oh, White Bridge Pier is probably our least used park, but that's not even the case right now. You go up there in the middle of the week, and although they are trying to social distance at their best, there are fishermen lined up every 6 to 10 feet apart around the entire pier fishing.
Wow.
The boat ramp is super busy right now because it's public. And even our Root River Park, which is kind of that hidden gem on the south side that not a lot of people know about, that park is being heavily used, and we often see 20 to 30 cars in that parking lot. So, and that is just a natural area park. There's a small picnic area, but it's for hiking and bird watching and things like that pretty much exclusively now. There's not a single park that isn't busy, especially on the nice days. We're really, really busy. So
I'm so inspired. I know the weather is going to be a little bit cooler this weekend, but wow, that's exciting to know that there's this offering right close to our homes, that we can utilize. Yeah. So the trails, do you have any recommendations, and do you have anything on your guys' website that shares, using the trails, and what are some things people can use?
So yeah, we have park trails maps online and at the parks. So if you're not familiar with our trail systems, you can grab a map and it will show you the distance of each of the trails that you might want to look at. So if you're novice, you might want to pick some of the shorter trails first to see how it goes. But we have trail systems that are up to a few miles long. So it's just a matter of how far and how comfortable you are getting into the woods. Start small. If you're not used to hiking, there are some areas that are a little more challenging as far as hills and things like that. So if you're concerned about how strenuous it might be, you can certainly call park staff to ask them what the trails actually look like or how difficult they are. We have not yet rated our trails as the difficulty on our maps. That's something that we're looking to do. But yeah, with all the different trail systems, there's 13 miles of trails at Chester Woods. There's 8 miles of trails at Oxbow Park. So there's a lot of different places and different routes that you can go. And, when you're looking at different trails, you're going to find different wildlife and different terrain. So it can be kind of fun to compare and contrast some of the trails that go up into the woods a little bit farther versus more of our prairie walks, which can be pretty fun as well. So yeah, there are maps available to show you where you can go. Dogs are a really big thing that people are looking right now. Where can I go with my dog? Where can I hike with my dog? And we do have a few trails in Olmsted County parks. We kind of work opposite of the Rochester City parks. We don't allow dogs everywhere. So we do have some dog trails designated where you can walk your dog. And they're also welcome in any of the picnic areas. Basically where we would mow the grass. The dogs are allowed anywhere in there, plus a few designated trails. And that's just for the purpose of allowing those visitors and the people who maybe are a little more nervous of dogs or really are avid wildlife watchers, that they have a park and a place to go to where they can enjoy the outdoors without potentially running into dogs on the trails or having wildlife scared off. So so there is a lot of thought and reasoning behind where we allow dogs and where we don't. But we do allow dogs in both Chester Woods and Oxbow Park. Just pay attention to the signs and the designations on where they're allowed, and you can certainly bring your furry friends along with you. So
now, are the parks staffed? You know, Chester Woods usually has somebody, you know, when you drive through, are they staffed regularly or is it limited times?
So we have full-time staff at both Chester Woods Park and at Oxbow Park. Although the gatehouse and offices are not open, somebody should be available by phone anytime you have a question. You can certainly call the park office and they'd be happy to assist you with your questions in that way. Or if you happen to see somebody out walking around, please feel free to ask them questions about the park as well. Root River Park and White Bridge Pier are not staffed by park, although staff do visit those parks on a regular basis during the week to maintain them. They are not fully staffed. There again, you can either call one of the other parks to ask questions about the White Bridge Pier or Root River, or you can call our Public Works front desk office as well.
And are the parks ready to go? Is there a process for kind of opening them up so they're ready to go for people?
Yeah, we're maintaining and getting them ready to go as we normally would every summer. We're opening our campground water lines and opening the bathrooms and cleaning them, and we want to be fully prepared for when we can open everything. It's very uncertain right now as far as when we're going to be able to open up different areas of the park. Just kind of have to wait and see with the governor's department. But we are working on our opening plans, and we're looking at a lot of different reasoning and thoughts behind what we should and should not open in the parks. There are some areas of parks which are just known for promoting gathering. And so those are going to be difficult areas for us to want to open this summer because we really want to help promote the social distancing. You may not see our Chester Woods Beach open this summer. And you may not see various buildings open if they don't allow for social distancing within them for the summer. So it's there's a lot of different factors that we're looking at. Campgrounds is a really big one that is fully across the board right now as far as what we are going to do and the things that we're looking at, because campgrounds, although you can social distance in your own little spot, the restrooms are a little bit more difficult for that. And to be honest, campgrounds are known for gathering with friends and family in various places, and it promotes cross-state travel and long-distance travel, which are all things that we're really trying to limit as a state with the COVID-19. So we have to really take a really hard look at how we're going to be able to open a campground and also provide that social distancing that's necessary right now. So we're working a little bit with the DNR. We're working with Greater Minnesota Parks and Trails and a lot of other people around the state and leaders in different parks and trail systems. And we're really trying to work together as the cohesive unit for a statewide way of looking at things. We don't want pockets of different parks doing different things so extreme from each other that nobody can figure out why anybody's doing what they're doing. But really try and make a more statewide cohesive approach. So more to come on that, but we are working as best we can to figure out we can offer as much as we can as safely as we can.
I'm really glad that you brought up that aspect. I don't know if you've seen the video that was circulating around the I can't remember what role this individual was playing, but you know, there was a group of people gathering and one individual shoved the parks person. Did you see that?
I did hear about it. I did not see it directly, but I did hear about that.
Right. So, I mean, it makes me wonder, is there a plan in place, for the situation that could, people want to use the parks in a situation that could, create a negative interaction like that?
Right. And that's a lot of conversation I've been having with my staff is, we need to do our best to provide as much as we can because we are extremely essential service right now. People need to get out. They need to get their peace of mind. And this is a mentally important piece of the puzzle for people right now, to be able to get into the parks. However, when you're looking at the social distancing aspect, we are also we're not the enforcement of people not gathering. We're not going to be the enforcement police, the social distancing police, and telling folks that they absolutely can't gather, because that's to an extent a very individual choice of people. As long as we understand that it's very important right now, what we can do as the park system is to figure out the processes and things that we can implement and put in place to promote and allow as much social distancing as we possibly can, and deter people from gathering. Going back to the picnic tables and the picnic shelters, of moving those all extremely apart from each other. So it would actually be very difficult for people to move those tables back closer together and gather in groups, and also allow families to feel more comfortable being distant during their picnics from other people. So it's those things that we can put in place that's going to help us. But again, we're not going to stop it from happening completely. We know that. So we can't stop people from just naturally doing what they're going to do. But we can put those processes in place that help. We're going to try and move to some online payment options as much as we can, because we, again, don't want staff at the gatehouse at Chester Woods or in the nature center at Oxbow Park having a huge amount of traffic and people coming through with our staff and contact with our staff like that. So it's going to be a change. It's going to be a lot of change for our park staff and how we operate. We generally work very closely with the public and like interacting with the public. Now we're going to have to take a little bit further back seat from that. And it's going to have to be a little bit more self-service as far as the parks are concerned. So we're going to try our best to put as much signage as we can to help people and direct them as we can and remind them as much as you can to social distance. And as much as we want to all gather 12 people around the campfire, it's probably not the best idea right now. So.
And that's what I was going to ask about, was those signs, are, putting signs up so that people know what they're able to do. Though you have plans to have those put up and posted?
Yes. Yep. We are already starting to post some things on our websites or on our Facebook pages, kind of telling people what we're looking for, what they can expect in the parks. And we have ordered some of the signs and are preparing to put up some of our social distancing and friendly reminder signs throughout the parks, and they should be coming to us soon. So hopefully we'll have those up before summer really gets in the swing.
Karlin, I hear the birds in the background. It's so nice.
I love it. It's great. The sun feels great today.
I bet that feels so good. I'm gonna have to get outside. In fact, I should have done this outside with you.
And that's a great reminder, is that our parks are great. And of course I want to promote our parks, but I'm just at our little city park right now,
right
to my home. And even if it's just getting out in your backyard, I find myself getting stuck inside on my computer working at home. And then I go, well, why am I not sitting outside with my computer? So it's just a very calming, relaxing atmosphere most of the time to be outside. So it's just a little getaway. It's really nice.
I was outside landscaping this weekend, and I think you speak to something that is really important about being outdoors. I noticed a shift in my happiness and fulfillment when I was outside landscaping with my daughter. It just totally invigorated me, and I felt refreshed.
Yeah, it's great for your kids too, to get them out into nature a little bit. There's so many things that they can discover.
Right.
Get them out into a wooded area, find the nearest park, and let them go on a little scavenger hunt to see what cool things in nature they could find. They might find some grubs and bugs, or they might find some cool buds forming on the trees and the plants. So it'll give them a different appreciation of nature too, to just sit and let them find some things in nature. It'll be relaxing for them too, because we forget how stressful it is for our kids too to feel like they're kind of cooped up inside all day and distance learning and everything else. So
this is perfect. My next question was, what are some resources and ideas that people can go to figure out different activities they can do outside?
there are a lot of different places right now doing online videos. The DNR State Parks is doing online videos. We're trying to post some things on Greater Minnesota Parks and Trails. Olmsted County and I believe our Rochester City Parks also are doing public programming online. So if you just look at, especially some of your bigger agencies like the DNR, some of your county and city parks should have some resources for you. And if not, you can use that good old Google search or Pinterest and look up nature activities and things like that. It'll just give you some ideas and kind of prime your thoughts about some things that you could do outside, and then you can kind of tailor it to how your family works best. I know very well that not every family is super comfortable with being deep in the woods in nature. So start small and start figuring out those little things that you can do. Just go to the park in the grassy areas and kind of maybe look at the tree behind you and see what it's got for growth and buds and things like that. And then it's really fun to just kind of do searches with your kids on, what kind of tree is this, or how do I identify a tree? There's a ton of tree identification, bug identification, all sorts of different, how can I figure out what type of animal or bug or anything is that? So there's a lot of resources online. Your library would have some resources as well. But here in this area, we invite you to join us on our Facebook pages and our outreaches that we're trying to do there. And we'll try and get you as much fun and information as we can.
That's awesome. I'm definitely going to be looking that up. Okay, so Fisherman's Inn closed.
Yep.
Now that's become a park. What is the title of that again?
Right now it is White Bridge Pier.
Okay.
That is we've had a 1 acre park up there since I believe the late 70s or early 80s. It's just been a 1 acre. It's kind of at the dead end of a road. It just lent itself really great for a fishing pier. When the bridge I think it got hit by a car and the bridge got taken out. So they used that dead end portion of road. The parks purchased it and we turned that into a fishing pier. So now we've added 3 acres of land with the Fisherman's Inn property. And the biggest reason for that purchase was to be able to provide that public boat launch on Lake Zumbro that really was lacking. There is a small boat ramp on the Wabasha side of the lake, but this is a really big lake to only have 1 public boat launch. So it was really important for us and really fun for us to consider adding a new public boat launch. We're partnering with the DNR on that boat launch. So you'll see more renovations and improvements in the future. We're trying to do some improvements now, but it's going to be somewhat of a slow process before the whole park is where we would like it to be. We're working on a new updated master plan on that 4 acres of land now. And along with the new master plan, we are probably going to change the name of that park and just kind of have it as a whole new fresh look at that area to see what we can provide for people. But the boat launch is already really busy. We finally got the boat launch dock put in place so that people can launch a little quicker and easier and a little bit more safely. So we almost couldn't get that dock in fast enough for people.
Wow.
Launching no matter what, which is great. But so now we finally have the docks in place. We're cleaning things up there, and we're really excited to improve that park and make it something that's just a great asset to the county.
Karlin, where can people find information about park openings, the regulations right now, up-to-date information?
We are posting as much up to date as we can on our Facebook pages, but we are also changing and updating our web pages as much as we are getting changes. We're trying to change those as quick as we can. So if you go to the Olmsted County website and then you look under departments and you go to the parks, it'll get you straight to the parks pages. And we are under and within the Olmsted County website. Each of the parks is on there, but there's a lot of general information too. So if you're looking strictly at camping, you can look at those sites. But we're posting all of our opening and closing information on our websites, and also you can take a peek at Facebook.
Karlin, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being on the show.
Oh, it was fun. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. Thank you so much for tuning in to Our Town podcast, a KSMQ Public Television show. I'd like to thank Annie, our amazing producer. She rocks putting this together. You can catch up with us on Facebook or Twitter at KSMQ, and tune in next week for more Our Town.
Always can be, grass could be green, green too. Am I love the same as them? They're facts, it's true, it's true.